Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. At the end of the last episode, we finally wrapped on the main scenario for the Heavensward expansion. We are now headed into the patch content, patch 3.1. Let's go ahead and log in. Alrighty, so let's speak to Alpha No so we can finish up that last quest. After long years of estrangement, Ishgard rejoins her sister nations in the Alliance. Words cannot well express my joy. None of this would have been possible without you, my friend. Change is coming to Eorzea, though it will inevitably bring with it a measure of upheaval. With hard work, peace and prosperity are sure to follow. And yet, even as we look forward to the coming of a new age, we must needs be wary of old threats. The lords of Garlemald have not relinquished their claim upon Eorzea, and we shall be forced to contend with them ere long. And then there is the matter of our comrade Estinian, claimed body and soul by Nidhogg. If there is a way to rescue him, we must find it. Suffice it to say, the path ahead holds no shortage of challenges, but together we shall overcome them. Alright. Fortuitous timing as always, Prince. Tataru was about to brief me on the search for our missing comrades. If you would be so kind, then. Absolutely. You'll be pleased to hear that Riol and his men have been making excellent progress. You remember how Philomin helped me to escape the Crystal Braves in Limsa Lominsa, only to then disappear? Well, according to Riol, she crept aboard a ship bound for Radz-Adhan, where she's been hiding ever since. He assures me that it won't be long before we're reunited. As for Ida and Papalimo, the remains of their link pearls have been found, and in Pearl Lane of all places. Riol thinks they must have disposed of them after escaping from the Royal Promenade. Yes, that would make sense. They could not risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We're all but certain they fled the city shortly after, though we still don't have a clue where they went. I see. And what of Thancred and Minfilia? I'm afraid I have nothing new to share about those two, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is we've enlisted the services of a Sharlayan scholar, one of the students of Baldessian, to aid in the search, who should be arriving any day now. One of the students, you say? I should very much like to meet this scholar, if time permits. But first we must attend to a more pressing matter. Sir Emmerich has summoned the two of us for a private audience. The messenger did not specify what he wished to discuss, only that it was urgent. Assuming you have no objections, Prince, I suggest we proceed to the congregation forthwith. And mayhap we can meet with the scholar afterwards. Agreed? In that case, I think I'll return to the Forgotten Knight for now. Things are liable to fall apart if I'm gone too long, you know? Alright, let us make our way over to the congregation of our Knights Most Heavenly. Actually, that's over here. The Lord Commander is within. Pray proceed, sir. Let us head inside.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant. And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities. I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited. Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number question our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order. But such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Shrine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Shrine? You would speak with Vidofnir, then?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor? Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens. Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
Alright, so we are through that. Thank you for stopping in, Ninja Star. Let's speak to Lucia here. I know little of the lands these dragons call home, this annexed shrine. Had you not agreed to escort me, the coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. I confess, I myself once shuddered at the thought of it, yet even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? Ah, but ere we set forth, Prince, and I must needs inform our comrade of our plans. Very well, I shall see to my preparations. Then let us go and bid farewell to Tataru, Prince. Alright, so she will be back over in the Forgotten Night. Oops, that's not the right person. So, what was your secret meeting all about? I'm all ears. A diplomatic mission to Onyx Shrine, you say? Well, I suppose that does take precedence. But should your meeting with Vidolfnir happen to end early, you might consider rendezvousing with Y'shtola in Idleshire. She'll be there to receive our guest. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important and everything, but this scholar just happens to be... Time permitting, as I said. We shall endeavor to join Y'shtola, but if we cannot, pray pass on our regards. Let us be off, Prince. We have kept the first commander waiting long enough. Alright, let us head upstairs. You are ready then? Good, so am I. Alright, let's see what we've got here. I would actually say, all things considered, this one is probably going to be the best thing for us. Since parry really doesn't do much good for us. The path is long but known to us. From Falcon's Nest we cross the western highlands and make for Tailfeather in the Dravanian forelands. There we can stop to rest and replenish our supplies. Questions? If not, then the stables await. Alright, so we're supposed to rendezvous with Lucia outside of Tailfeather, but before we do that, we're actually going to make a quick stop back over in Central Thanalan. And the reason for that is there's actually something that we need to unlock at this point. Should be right up in here. What would you say if I told you that inanimate objects can possess a soul? They can, believe it or not, although the soul in question is not their own, but that of their owner. Through faithful service, the arms and armor that we use come to hold our spiritual energy. Thus do we form a spirit bond with them. Such items can then be converted into material, a special kind of crystal that can be attached to gear to enhance its properties. I am well versed in the ways of material conversion. If you wish to learn more about the process, it would be my pleasure to teach you. You are ready to commence your learning? Good. As you will have gathered by now, material is a crystallized form of one's spiritual energy. As this energy is derived from an individual's psyche, a volatile beast at the best of times, a degree of variance is to be expected in its production. In practice, this means that you won't know the exact properties of a stone until you cradle it in your hand. Now, material won't grant you much of anything on its own. Its power must be tapped, see, and this is achieved by melding it to gear. Know, though, that it takes the deft hands of a craftsman to meld materia. You can always seek out others to attach materia on your behalf, but if you would sooner do it yourself, I recommend you speak with Phobos. Melding is her field of expertise. Please be advised that if you wish to remove materia from an item, you must visit Mutamix, as only he can do so. And Mutamix is over here. So, materia assimilating is now available. Creating materia, you can now convert items into materia. Materia created from one piece of gear can be affixed to another, improving its attributes. To convert an item into materia, you must have first created a spirit bond with it by using the piece repeatedly in battle, crafting, or gathering. Once an item's spirit bond reaches 100%, you will be able to select Convert from the list of available subcommands. Once an item is converted into materia, it can never be restored. Affixing materia to an item can be done by a disciple of hand with the proper training, or by speaking with a materia melder NPC. Should you wish to remove materia, you must speak with Mutamix in Central Thanalan. Alright, so, on the gear that we've got here currently, we've got 2 slots on the sword, as well as 2 slots on the boots, those being what we've purchased thus far. The rest of this stuff I'm not actually looking to put any of it on, just because it's not at the item level that we need it to be. Now, we do have Phobos here, but this is saying that in order to continue with this, we need any Disciple of Hand job, aside from Culinarian, that is level 19. That is fine. Let us make our way back over to Ishgard at this point here. And just by doing that, that should have at least unlocked the ability for us to affix materia. Let's head over to the Jeweled Crozier. And now we've got this materia melder over here. Okay, so this is the interface that comes up when you're looking to meld materia. Let's go under Equipped, and let's take a look at the Heavy Metal Longsword. So, we can see here what stats are currently attached to the sword. So we've got 111 strength out of 111, and 122 out of 122 vitality. What we're looking to do is we're looking to meld items on, or basically meld on what we've got out of this list here, but not exceed the maximum, because if we do that, it's not going to do anything for us. So in this particular case, I would say the critical hit rate is going to be the most important part. And basically this is what comes up when you try to meld materia on. So we're going to use the Savage Aim materia, and this has 100% success. You typically don't need to worry about it going under 100% unless you start doing what's called advanced materia, or rather advanced materia melding. And unless you're like a really high-end raider, like you're going for world first kills, you typically don't need to worry about that. So let's go ahead and meld this on. And so with that, that materia is now attached. Let's do the same with another one. That brings it up to 81 out of 90. And now let's also look at our boots here. So for the boots, it's actually a similar story here. It's got 0 in the crit rate, and then 50 in the determination. The way that you want to gear up a paladin is it's always going to be strength first, if it's available. And then you want to go critical hit rate, then determination, and then skill speed. Don't put anything into parry. Parry does nothing when you look at it in terms of the math. So let's put on the critical hit rate. And then let's take a look through our gear, because we've actually got a lot of gear that we have at 100% Spirit Bond. And for that, what we can do is we can say convert. And then we hit this button to confirm it, and we say yes. And there we go. So from that, we received a Battle Dance material, which gives us parry in that particular case. This is talking about what you can do to request melding if you want to request it from a player instead of using the materia melder. In most cases, like they said, you're not going to need to worry about that. The materia melder is going to do pretty much the majority of what you need. It's only if you're dealing with savage raiding that you really need to worry about this. But anyway, let's go ahead and put on the skill speed materia that we have here as well, since there is room to put that on. There we go. Okay, so that gives us the 4 main materia that I had available at this time. You can always pick up more off the market board, or if you have the time to do it, you can, of course, continue to level up different pieces of gear, and then eventually turn that into the materia that you need. In that case, we got a Wind Materia Wand. Most Elemental Materia is not going to do anything. Elemental Materia, it does provide some defense against the different elements, but the thing is, that's actually a holdover from the 1.0 days, and so it's not actually going to do that much in terms of protecting you. Let's go ahead and update our gear set, and with that materia melded, let's head over to Tailfeather now. Okay, so Lucia is over here to the east. Let's meet up with her. I always imagined that the first time I set foot upon Dravanian soil would be at the head of an army, and here I am, ready to treat with the brothers and sisters of mine enemies. Full well do I know how difficult it can be to set aside the past, though it was I who first proposed recruiting Ysael to our cause. I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I had uttered them, and for a long time after that. Here was a woman with the blood of innocents on her hands, men, women, children, all slain in the name of the implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in common cause. At our side, she fought in service to the greater good, even unto her dying breath, and while that does not absolve her of her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered, not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. You ask much, Master Alphino. Yet who can say what might come to pass, should our negotiations bear fruit? Ah, yes, of course. We must press on to Onyx Shrine, if you will follow me. Alright, and so now we are headed over to Onyx Shrine. Alright, Vidofnir should be over here. Well, actually, I think she's inside the tower now that I think about it. Here we go. Thou art ever welcome here, friend of Ysael. But this one I do not know. Pray forgive us this unannounced visit, Vidofnir. May I present to you Lucia, first commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, and our trusted friend. It is an honor to meet you, Vidofnir. I am come as an envoy of Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, Knight. For 1,000 years, man and dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed your kin to be the architects of this war, but now we know the truth, that King Thordan and his Knights 12 did willfully betray and murder the great worm, Ratatoskr, shattering the peace between our peoples. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal the truth, a truth which was at last laid bare by the Warrior of Light, the Azure Dragoon, and Ysael. Alas, a deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labor to accept the truth. After an eternity of war, who would dare to dream that peace can at last be within our grasp? Yet dream we must, as Ysael did once, and we must make that dream a reality, as she could not. We humbly beseech you, Vidofnir, join hands with us in friendship once more, before the eyes of my people in Ishgard. A most unexpected invitation. I have heard your request, Knight. However, I cannot yet give you mine answer. May I ask why? This matter concerneth my sire. He must needs be consulted. Moreover, the Nath grow bold, even as they did before, and I would not leave my people at the mercy of the swarm. Then we will wait. After 1,000 years at war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Ha! Fear not, Knight. thou shalt have mine answer within thy lifetime. So soon? My humble thanks. I shall bear your words to my lord forthwith, until we meet again. Alright, let's speak with Alpha No. Given the circumstances, I would say that went rather well. To be frank, I am surprised our proposal was not rejected outright. Whether aught will come of it remains to be seen, however. Mayhap I should take this opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. Ah, but you need not wait for me. The return journey holds no fears for me now. Well, if you have no further need of our services, we shall continue on to Charlian. We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in the search for our missing comrades. Then I pray for your journey is as swift and uneventful as ours was, and thank you again for sparing the time to assist us, even when such grave matters remain unresolved. I can think of no graver matter than a 1,000-year war, one which our friends gave their lives to see ended. Suffice it to say, I would willingly make 1,000 such journeys to ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain. Of that I have no doubt, Master Alphino. I only hope the fates will not hold you to your word. Alright, let's speak to Alphino again. So, it would seem we have time to greet this scholar after all. How delightful. I shall be interested to hear how she means to go about finding Minfilia and Thancred. I can only assume she is privy to some new investigative technique. In any event, our first order of business is to rendezvous with Y'shtola in Idleshire. Alright, to Idleshire we go! Alright, so we have arrived, and before we do anything else here, as you can see, I did do a little more work here on the tombstones, so we have enough to pick up a piece of gear. Let's go ahead and head inside here so we can do that. And we're going to do Allegan Tombstones of Lore. And what we're able to pick up is actually the shield here. The rest of this is a few tombstones out of reach for us here. So let's pick up the Hellfire Shield. And let us go ahead and equip that now. Oh, that's right, we can't change while we're actually talking to her. There we go. And with that, our gear has jumped from 157 to 163. And with that done, we can now go and find where Y'shtola is. Here she is. Ah, Prince. 'Tis good to see you. I confess I had assumed your business in Onyx Shrine would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vidofnir go well? As well as can be expected. She must discuss Sir Emmerich's proposal with Hraesvelgar, of course, but she seemed amenable to the suggestion. What of our Charlian guest? Has she arrived yet? She has, but when I explained that you would be joining us, she asked if she might use the intervening time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside on Front Bridge. We should be on our way. Alright. And as we can see, we've got basically a bunch of markers all around town here that basically unlock different things here. But for the time being, we're just going to follow the main story here. Here's our destination point.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Kryle, who has recently come from the Sharlayan motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the Warrior of Light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, sir. And who is that I spy but young Alphonse Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
Miss Kryle and I met at the Studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the Studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Kryle.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best that you explain your plan to her in person.
Alright, so we are off to see Matoya again. Once again, she does not have a nearby aetheryte, so we are going to have to take the long journey down to her. I believe this quest right here unlocks one of the dungeons for Heavensward. At level 60. but we're going to bypass that now. We'll come back to the unlockable dungeons that aren't a part of the story if we have time to get to them before Stormblood starts. But to be honest, I'm probably going to look at doing, if we do have time, I would want to look at doing Alexander first. And that's basically who this is that popped up the last time. So, that should be fun. But once again, it's if we have time to do it. Otherwise, we're going to head straight into Stormblood, and then I will pick up on all the old dungeons and raids once we get through that content. Yeah, there is a lot of content that we still have to go through. We technically have still the original Heavensward dungeons to go through, plus all the dungeons that have been added since patches, plus all the A Realm Reborn content as well. I think that's like something like 15, 16 dungeons, and plus all the 8-man and 24-man raids. I don't know if we'll be going into the Savage versions of them, though. Probably we'll just be looking primarily at the story-based versions, although when it comes to the Binding Coil, that's a different story because there's only one version of that. At least initially there was. There was the second coil, which got a Savage version, but really in the Savage versions, the stories don't change. Anyway, here's Alphino, Ystrola, and Kryl. You did say we were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Is Master Matoya meeting us on the way or something? Oh, and just a quick note here about Kryl. Kryl is actually a character from Final Fantasy V, or at least this is a representation of her, wearing, I believe, her summoner outfit. I have heard many stories of Master Matoya, some quite flattering, others less so. Rest assured, they are all true. This way, and have care where you tread. Looks like somebody is trying to open up the way to the cave entrance there. We don't have to worry about them, though. Let's just head inside.
Oh, is that trouble I smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Forgive us, Master Matoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Matoya. I am Kryl, of the students of Baldesion. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
Baldesion, you say? Ah, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our order's headquarters and the isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power. I have the blessing of light to thank for my own preservation.
Kryl, you too possess the Echo.
Well, yes, of course I do. Our order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Hydaelyn and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
I had no idea.
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
The students of Baldessian are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the signs of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing scions.
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience. Oh, wait here.
Long did I ponder the nature of this crystal and its familiar radiance, but never did I suspect it was a crystal of light.
On the cusp of an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light. But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, excepting beasts, contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even, the traces of which serve to guide the elementals to Y'shtola. Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya. Then let us begin. From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al. It was a near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock.
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
So, Kryl, you have the Echo, huh? Want to join me in battle sometime against a Primal? Anyway, let's make our way over to Tailfeather. There's the group over there. Were I to find myself in an unfamiliar wilderness, my first instinct would be to seek out signs of civilization. Ordinarily, perhaps, but in his wounded state, he may not have wished to risk contact with strangers of unknown allegiance. Yet even Thancred chosen to remain in the forest. The hunters would surely have stumbled across his trail. Tailfeather doesn't strike me as an isolated outpost, though. Merchants and traders pass through reasonably regularly, do they not? In which case, we'll need to provide a more detailed description when we question the locals. Fear not, Kryl. I have already prepared several sketches of Thancred for that very purpose. This is impressive. You drew him from memory? A skill I acquired some years ago for reasons I no longer remember. I propose we split into two pairs. Ystrola and I will inquire at the outlying encampments, while Prince and Kryl question the residents of Tailfeather. Afterwards, we shall regroup near Lost Astvath and share our findings. Assuming there are no objections, let us be about it. My, he certainly has matured, hasn't he? Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawing for hours to impress young ladies. Anyway, we had best get started. Find me when you've finished making your rounds. Alright. Let us speak to the townsfolk. Searching for a friend of yours. Let's have a look then. No, I ain't seen him around. Sorry. Alright, let us speak to the person in here. What's that you got there? A sketch? Can't say I know the face. You say he's something of a warrior? I heard a tale the other day about a Highland vagabond who brought down a bandersnatch by himself, and with style. Where they tell it, he was dancing with the beast like it was the bell of the bleeding ball. Sound like your man? That definitely does sound like Thancred. Let's see what the last hint gives us. A Hiram man? We're not exactly rare, you know. Could you be more specific? I did spy this one bloke a while back. Didn't get a good look at his face, but it could have been him. This was beyond the forest, as I recall, along the river, to the west of Tailfeather. I remember thinking he wasn't much of a hunter. The lad was making no effort to cover his tracks, see? That, and he was carrying an axe instead of a bow. An axe? I don't believe we know of anybody that carries an axe. Thancred carries daggers. Alright, let's speak with Kryl. Finished? In that case, I think we've learned everything we can here. Let's see what the others have found out. Alright, and so we are headed back over to where the Vath are. Alright, here's our destination point. My apologies for our late arrival. We thought it wise to question as many hunters as we could. Many have made camp in inaccessible locations, ideal for hunting game, not so receiving visitors. Nevertheless, our time proved well spent. There have been countless sightings of an exceptionally capable Highland hunter with whom no one is familiar. Though none chanced to see the man's face, his height and build match Thancred's description, as does his fighting prowess. So you have heard the same tales. Be that as it may, we yet want for conclusive proof. Mayhap this is a little unrelated, but I heard a curious tale regarding a Vath trader. He came to Tailfeather in search of garments fit for a man of refinement, which seemed a rather curious description for one of his kind. You are implying that Thancred sent a Vath to market in his stead? Why would he not go himself? Well, if you recall, you yourself emerged from the live stream as naked as your name day. It is a scene I shall never forget. Is it now? Well, I was pleased to see you. I mean, it was a simple statement of fact. It stands to reason that Thancred found himself in the same predicament. In any case, if he had dealings with the Vath, they should be able to tell us, no? Quite right, Kryle. Quite right. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, so those are not options. We just get both of them. Well, what are we waiting for? For all we know, Thancred could be waiting for us in Loth Ast Vath. We must go and see the Vath right away. Come along, everyone. Come along. Alright, let us sprint our way into their village. Great hunters, we welcome you once more to Lost Athvath. What do you seek this day? We seek a man with whom we are told you may have had certain dealings. How curious. The hunters tire of goodly sport and pursue mortal prey? No, he is not prey, but a friend long missing. Good. He is a friend to the Vath as well. One with whom we have traded many times. Truly? And you are quite certain it was this man? There is no doubt. The fleshling clothed in skins came to us from Somal, lost and weak. He offered meat and hides in trade, and in exchange we tended his wounds. He brought us much flesh, so skilled a hunter he was. Much flesh. When he asked for garments, we were glad to provide them. And where is he now? gone to the lost ass Nath not long ago, when he heard the One Mind had summoned our god once more. Ravana is returned? Vidofnir did say the Nath had grown as before, but what could Thancred hope to accomplish by himself? Honored Elder, we thank you for your help. Would that we could repay this kindness ere we depart, but we must hasten to our comrade's side. Go, great hunters, lest the Nath claim him as a sacrifice. Alright, so we need to make our way to the south then. All the way down here. Now, I believe by doing this, does open up the path to Ravana Extreme, which is basically the hard mode version of the boss. But we won't be looking at that today. One, because I don't think I even have the gear to take it on at this point. Alright, we are almost at the destination point. Alright, so this is going to put us into combat. So let's cast Protect. And let's bring Hadred out. Here we go. Alright, moving on.
Who else could be? Thancred! It could be Thancred! We must hurry!
Derplander?
This day, we reclaim the reins of history. This day, we rid ourselves of the Ascians forever!
Fools playing at heroes, all of you. Is this how you believe you can save your world?
We can and we will, Ascian. You shall see. Or perhaps you will not! So you are the warrior of light, the savior of Eorzea. It's a wonder you didn't come sooner, what with the primal and all. Lost a step, have we?
Have care. The ether moves strangely around him.
It would seem we share a common enemy. Mayhap you would tell us who you are.
Shall we show them? Not very sporting of you to interrupt, but so be it. Mark well our faces, warrior of light, for we are the warriors of darkness, walkers of a different path, and we shall meet again.
Warriors of Darkness? Really?
Thancred! Are you all right?
Pleasantries can wait. I'd rather not be here when the Nath arrive. Agreed?
Alright, so we got Thancred back.
Suffice it to say, our reunion was not at all as I pictured it. Waiting until the last instant to join the fray. 'Tis plain you have not lost your appetite for the dramatic.
My appetite for the dramatic? Have you forgotten the circumstances of our parting? The heroic last stand, the tunnel filling with light, and then... Had I known you intended to use forbidden magics to deliver me to some god's forsaken wilderness, I would have thanked you in advance.
Thancred.
If nothing else, you might have warned me that I would emerge from the live stream in the Altogether. Eventually, I managed to fashion knives from some obsidian I found, and set about hunting for meat and hides. Given that I'm not all that skilled in leatherworking, it's probably for the best that I met the Vath before I was reunited with you.
So you were the fleshling clothed in skins of whom the storyteller spoke?
A description which fit me as ill as the skins themselves. Happily, I was able to trade with the Vath for garments better becoming a man of refinement. From them, I learned of Ravana, and of the great warrior who had once laid him low.
And thence did you conclude that were you to track the Primal's movements, it would surely bring you into contact with the Scions once more?
It seemed a reasonable assumption. I could think of no one else with your enthusiasm for slaying beastmen gods. Until now, that is.
Ah, yes. The self-proclaimed Warriors of Darkness. 'Tis only fitting that they stand in opposition to the Warrior of Light, I suppose.
I glimpsed the leaders past, if only for a moment. They were confronting a man in black. An Ascian, I think.
If these warriors are capable of doing battle with Ascians and Primals both, they must be possessed of powerful protection. Protection not unlike the Echo.
All right, just a quick note here. I really think the choreography in the fight with the Warriors of Darkness was actually really good, especially with Dirtblander going up against Thancred there. Anyway, let's speak to Alphino. Blessed with the power of the Echo and driven to put down Primals, despite his declaration that they walk a different path, I struggle to see how their goals conflict with ours. Nor is that the only oddity. I find it passing strange that such exceptional individuals should have wholly escaped our notice until now. Surely we would have heard rumors and attempted to recruit them to our cause? I recall no such adventurers, and I would not soon forget their like, nor would any of us, I think. One of our primary duties was to scour the city-states for promising candidates, which is how Thancred found Prince. Ah, the memories. It seems like only yesterday that you slew your first primal. Speaking of which, I had the distinct impression that it was not the first time that band of merry men and women had killed a god. I labor to believe that a band of preternaturally gifted adventurers has been traveling the land slaying primals without our knowledge. 'Twould imply gross negligence on our part. Speculation will avail us not. There is far too much we do not know. For the present, we must needs concentrate on what we do know, namely that Lord Ravana is no more. Vidofnir must be informed. The news may render her more receptive to Sir Emmerich's invitation. Since you seem to have affairs here well in hand, I shall take my leave. Simply being in the vicinity of this colony is giving me a stinking headache. If you have need of me, I shall be with Master Matoya. I would beg her assistance with the search for Minfilia. Wait, Minfilia is missing? I thought she escaped with Prince. I shall explain on the road. Much has happened in your absence. Alright, so we need to make our way back over to Onyx Shrine. Or actually, we've been deposited here, actually. So we need to head upstairs once again and speak to Vidofnir. And here she is. I had not thought to see thee again so soon, mortal. If thou seekest the night, know that she hath long since departed for Ishgard. My thanks, Vidofnir, but it was not for her that we came. We bring good tidings for you and yours. Lord Ravana, who had been summoned by the Nath, has again been laid low. Truly, once more you mortals have succeeded where mine own kind did fail. You have our deepest thanks. Would that we could take credit. The god fell by another's hand. Another? Revelation upon revelation. Regardless, it is cause for celebration. The Nath will have no choice but to withdraw. But to another matter, I have tidings for thee as well. Regarding the Ishgardians' invitation? As promised, I brought the matter to my sire. Hearken to his answer now. For 1,000 years have I mourned my beloved, who gave her life to forge a peace thy king betrayed. Such was my lot until a child of Ishgard came unto me. For want of warmth, she wrapped herself in a dream. Yet the world will remember her deeds. For truth she fought. For justice she sinned. For redemption she sacrificed and became as light. To follow one's heart, to have faith in one's convictions, be it for weal or be it for woe. Such is the folly and the glory of man and of dragon. He hath entrusted the choice to us, and we have made it. We will keep faith with you who walk in the light. Then you accept Sir Emmerich's invitation. Let it be known that I, Vidofnir, shall journey unto Ishgard on behalf of my people. We are honored to receive your answer, and will convey your words to our allies without delay. It is happening, Hizel. Would that you were here to see it.
Even as the Scions celebrated the return of a long-lost friend, honorable men plotted to deprive them of another. Honorable men, to whom Sir Emmerich was no hero, but a scheming patricide. Honorable men who would fain wash the paving stones of foundation with the tyrant's blood. Honorable men whose knife in the dark was the spark which set the city aflame, and who sang as it burned.
Alright, so we need to make our way back over to Foundation now. Let us return to there. Right. Let us not keep Sir Emmerich waiting. Are you quite well, Thancred? Yes, quite well. Forgive me. You have given me rather a lot to digest. This whole affair with the Ishgardians and the Dravanians, and our friends nowhere to be found. 'Twould seem there is no end to our troubles. We can but face them head-on, one at a time. For now, we must apply ourselves to our allotted tasks, and leave the others to theirs. Remember, Thancred, we found you, as they found me. In time, we will find Ida and Papalymo, and Minfilia as well. These troubles will soon be but a memory, one which we will look back on together. Pray do not misunderstand. I did not mean to imply that it would be otherwise. I merely wish that I had rejoined our grand adventure at one of its more triumphal moments. Despite your recent accomplishments, the mood here is less than celebratory. But I have no doubt that we will enjoy many more glorious victories soon enough. And you may rest assured that I will play my part in them to the very end, to the very hilt. I know you will. So then, to the congregation. Alright, let us make our way over to there. You have returned. In this, at least, the fates are kind. Greetings, First Commander. It pleases me to inform you that Vidofnir has accepted Sir Emmerich's invitation. She has? These are glad tidings indeed. Would that the Lord Commander were here to hear them. Is he otherwise engaged? Aye, sleeping off a knife to the gut. What? What happened? Will he live? The Churagons tell me that he will make a full recovery, but had Lord Edmont and Lord Artoriel not been on hand when the assassin struck, he would not have been so fortunate. For a mercy, they subdued the fiend before he could land the telling blow. The attack was just the beginning, though. Not long after, buildings all round the city, including several of ours, burst into flame. Bastards caught us completely by surprise. We've been doused in the fires, but every one we put out, it seems like 2 more start up. Casualties are mounting, especially in the Broom. 'Tis plain these fires were started by the assassin's conspirators. Until they have been rounded up, there will be no end to this. Will you help us find them? Then let us be about it. The flames are spreading. We must needs begin our investigation immediately. The witnesses must be found. Suspects must be identified. Have you been able to determine the precise locations where the fires were set? Mayhap there is a pattern. If there is, we have yet to discern it. Fires have been reported throughout the city, in both the pillars and foundation. Indeed, given the size of the affected area, I think it best to divide our forces. Master Alphino and Mistress Y'shtola, I would have you take charge of the investigation in Foundation. As you wish. Mayhap Totaro can be of assistance as well. Meaning Prince and me get the pillars. Oh, they'll like me up there. Only question is, will the grizzled old rogue striking a pose over there be joining us? Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And may I say what a pleasure it is to meet you too, milady. I'll bet. The name's Hilda. A scion, eh? And there I was thinking I found a fellow ruffian amongst all the illustrious personages. I will remain here to coordinate the fire-quenching effort. If you learn aught of value, pray inform me immediately. That is all. Well, we could begin by sifting through charred rubble and questioning random passerby. In my experience, every town has at least one individual who can be counted on to know things he or she should not. Oh, aye, the infamous Lord Emmanuel de Fortamps, lover of women and wine, though neither care for him that much. They say he could gossip for Ishgard. Just the sort of fellow I had in mind. Capital suggestion, Prince. He'll be at the Crozier most like, making an effort to be seen. So let's go and see him. Grizzled I will accept, but old? Alright, let's hit the Aethernet. And there's a Madeleine over there. Well, well, if it isn't Prince, dearest of all my friends. You're looking rather glum. Something the matter, old boy? Ah, yes, the arsons. Dreadful business, that. And awfully curious, wouldn't you say? There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it at all. Naturally, we've doubled the guard outside the manor, along with most of the other houses. Can't have the old pile going up in flames, after all. Oh, in case you were wondering why the Hoplon is awash with refugees, the lower levels of the vault have been opened to those unfortunate souls who have lost their homes. Sir Emmerich's order, from what I heard. Remarkable man. Not even a knife in the ribs can keep him from his duties. Actually, old boy, if you were thinking of questioning the refugees, I should be more than happy to accompany you to the Hoplon. While you conduct your inquiries, I could offer words of comfort to the distressed and despondent young maidens. Wait a moment, I know what that is. You're giving me one of your looks, aren't you? You do me an injustice, old boy. I will have you know my heart yearns for but one rose, prickly though she may be. I sense you remain unconvinced. Very well, if it will help to prove the purity of my intentions, I shall gracefully rescind my offer. Now run along and catch those arsonists. That was not entirely what I had hoped for. Whose idea was it to come here again? Never mind. For our next step, I suggest we divide our efforts. While you question the refugees in the Hoplon, Prince, I shall investigate the locations where the fires were set. Would you be so good as to join me, Hilda? You know what? I reckon I would. Can't have you roaming about in an unfamiliar city by your lonesome, can we? You'd only get robbed blind and left shivering in your small clothes. Alright, so we need to make our way to the Hoplon. And the best way to get there is actually going to be to pick up the last vigil, and then head north from there. Ours was one of the finest, one of the first homes to be claimed, but I didn't see how the fire began. It was only when I heard our neighbors shouting that I looked outside and saw the flames. We barely escaped with the clothes on our backs. Were it not for the church's generosity, I don't know what we'd do. Come, my brothers and sisters, there is food and shelter enough for all in the Basilica. Haloni's blessings be upon you, Father. I confess we were not sure if we should come. There are so many unbelievable tales these days about the Archbishop and Sir Emmerich and the Dravanians. Trust in your heart, brother, and pay no heed to the lies of lesser men. They seek only to lead you astray. Do you require succor as well, sir? So the Temple Knights have begun their investigation at last. Good, this madness has gone on for far too long. Would that I could do something to aid in your search, but I have a duty to these poor souls. Farewell, and may the Fury guide your steps. Alright, last person to talk to. There was a man with a satchel. I saw him kneeling outside the window, and then there was smoke everywhere, and it was so hot, and I couldn't breathe. I don't remember how I made it out. I suppose I must have climbed. Maybe my arm is getting better after all. Alright, let us rendezvous with Thancred. And he is going to be down to the southeast, it looks like. Here we are. Ah, there you are. Anything to share? We will require more than the muddled testimony of a traumatized girl if we are to identify the culprits. While you were questioning the refugees, we inspected the scenes of several of the fires, including one near St. Reminald's Cathedral, and another near the Tribunal. For a mercy, neither structure suffered significant damage. Some might say they were spared by the grace of the Fury. Others might question how such ruthlessly efficient arsonists contrived to fail so miserably on the two occasions when their target was a bastion of Ishgardian orthodoxy. Nothing conclusive, of course, but it does give one cause to wonder. Alphino will doubtless have an opinion. Alright, let us make our way to the broom now. Best way to get there is going to be to hit the Aethernet here. And head straight for the broom. There's Alphino. Silence will avail you not, sir. Ah, Prince, I was just about to summon you. As you can see, we have detained a suspect. We found this man loitering near the remains of one of the stricken buildings. According to eyewitnesses, he was also present before the fires broke out. We wished to have words. He did not, so he insisted. Let me go, damn it. You've got the wrong man. My, you reek of oil. And are those burns on your hands? An occupational hazard, I suppose. But tell me, does arson pay well? I'm a victim, you imbecile. Look at me. Aye, that you are. After a fashion. You should know that your pious patron has already spun us a delightful yarn about how his pet mongrel slipped the leash and set about burning half the city to the ground. Not very noble of him, I grant you, but then these highborn types rarely do show loyalty to their pets. In fact, he called you a rabbit and begged us to put you down. That's Box! He's the one who told me to keep going. Even a sinner such as me could find salvation in the Fury's work, he said. I left it behind, tried to with all my heart, said my prayers every day, like a good man. But he came to me. He came to me. And there you have it, Hilda. Would you be so kind as to escort our friend here to the congregation? Aye, so long as you don't mind if he's limping when he gets there. That was incredible, Thancred, but how did you know he would confess? Well, I have seen his like before. A troubled soul manipulated by men of power and wielded as a weapon. I could not be certain, of course, but given the stakes, I thought it worth the risk. And if our captives had called your bluff? Must we entertain hypotheticals? The world as it is vexing enough. Thank you, Thancred. Whether by luck or judgment, we have at last confirmed that these arsons were orchestrated by a person or persons of influence. I think it best that we now return to the congregation and discuss how to best proceed. Alright, let us make our way up. On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, I thank you all. The man you apprehended is being interrogated as we speak, though he fell silent upon realizing that we had not turned his master. He will soon tell us what he knows, one way or another. Pardon the intrusion, First Commander. Ah, Lord Artoriel, are you come to see your father? He is attending Sir Emmerich in his chambers at present. I am. He bid me bring this salve. Then do not let me detain you, and thank you for your kindness, my lord. In times of trouble, every man must do his part. Would that I could do more. My lord Arturo did not seem to be in the best of spirits. 'Tis little wonder, Master Alphino. His father is widely slandered, and his half-brother not yet cold in the grave.
I do not mean to diminish our accomplishments, but until we identify the ones who ordered the fires set, our work is far from finished.
Between the various conservative and religious factions in Ishgard, I dare say there's no shortage of parties who would like to see the status quo preserved. Do any likely suspects spring to mind?
Far too many to count.
Lord Commander, your wounds.
Are healing well. Thank you. Time is of the essence. Lest we forget, these men would sooner put their own city to the torch than see it change. When our enemies learn that we have apprehended their arsonist, there is no telling how they will react.
Lord Commander, an armed mob has seized control of the vault.
And now we know. Tell us what happened, sir. Spare no detail.
We were directing refugees into the Basilica, as you ordered, when all of a sudden, men brandishing weapons were all around us. It happened so fast, my lord. We had no time to respond. They've taken the refugees hostage and barricaded themselves inside the vault.
And they sent you to deliver their demands.
They, the true brothers of the faith, demand that a conclave to select the next archbishop be held forthwith. Furthermore, they declare that you, Lord Commander, are guilty of patricide and high treason, and that you must surrender yourself at once to receive of the Fury's judgment.
Ridiculous! I mean, do they honestly think that executing Sir Emmerich would change anything? That the truth will somehow die with him?
These fundamentalists rage against the passing of the old ways, unable to accept there can be no going back.
Given the fanciful nature of their demands, a peaceful resolution does not seem likely. If the hostages are to be rescued, it will be by force, I fear.
Agreed. Lucia, take a contingent of knights and establish a perimeter outside the entrance.
At once, Lord Commander.
Hilda, I need your people out in force throughout the Broom. When word spreads of the situation, the friends and family of the hostages may try to take matters into their own hands. I will not give these militants more targets. I shall lead the assault on the vault. Master Alphino, can I count on the support of the Scions?
Of course.
We are in your debt.
I shall join you as well, Lord Commander.
Your assistance is most welcome, Lord Atwarel. To arms, then, friends. Time is against us.
Alrighty, so let us make our way to the pillars. It looks like we need to head to the west here for our destination. Alright, Emmerich has a glow around him, so let me break out some Knight's Bread. As well as Protect, since we are probably headed into a duty here. Listen well. We will enter the Basilica silently via this gate. According to our latest reports, there are at least 6 hostages being held within. The numbers and readiness of the true brothers of the faith are unknown. I am told one claimed to have served under Thordan VII. Might the same be true of the rest? Given the swiftness with which they seized control of the vault, I think it highly likely, yes. Which means that they may well possess the knowledge required to turn the building's defenses against us. Be that as it may, we have no choice but to press on. Lord Artoiro, you are a brave man and true, and none would dare question your honor if you chose not to risk your life in this endeavor. Are you certain you wish to join us? I am no stranger to the battlefield, Sir Emmerich. My arm will not falter, my shield will not break. Haloni as my witness, we will bring these fanatics to justice. Well said, my lord. Friends, follow me. Alright, duty calls. Let us proceed. And we must rescue the hostages. Looks like I'm not the only paladin here then. Sir Emmerich appears to be going in without a shield. Alright, 2 left. Let's stun him. Make sure he can't get a hit in. There we go. Let's lose this auditor here. Alright, that saves one of the refugees. You must hurry. The others were taken elsewhere by Sir Simonard. Sir Simonard? So this is the work of the Archbishop's former servants. On your guard. They've sounded the alarm. I will hold the entrance and look after this one. Now go! Secure the hostage, Prince. Leave the others to us.
Down with you!
Alright, let's get the refugee up. Or I guess we can't. We have to we'll have to take care of these guys after all. There we go. Is it over? They took the others somewhere. It all happened so quickly. There they are. Let none escape. Let's get on the Deacon here. Not alone you won't. Prince, stay with Sir Emmerich and Lord Arturo. This way, Prince, to the choir.
You underestimate me!
Overall, this seems to be going pretty smoothly. Sir Simeonard, lay down your arms and release the hostages, and you will be shown mercy. I give you my word. Ha! The word of a heretic and a kinslayer. I would sooner trust a dragon. Activate the knights. We shall show the hostages the same mercy he showed the Archbishop. Unlike you, Sir Emmerich, I am a man of honor. By my hand you shall receive of the Fury's judgment. So it is to be a trial, then. Lord Arturo, Prince, leave us and save the hostages. I will deal with Sir Simeonard. O Halone, render unto us your judgment. Raise up the righteous and cast down the wicked. Here's where they were hiding. Alright, let's release their bonds. There must be others nearby, but where? Here they are. Takes care of the knight. And there's the deacon. I see no others nearby. Come, Prince, Sir Emmerich needs our help. Well, let's sprint over to him then. Well done. Now let us finish this, sir. Before the eyes of gods and men. Stand fast, my brothers. The fury is with us.
This knight does not yield!
At this point, my concern is getting the attention of everyone. Let me also try to toss a few heals on Emmerich. Yeah, that doesn't do too much. It'll have to do, though. I wish I could use my circles scoring that often. Alright, he is almost done for. One day, I swear you will. Alright, that should be the last of the refugees then. You must hurry. The priest took Mei Li upstairs when he saw you kill his men. Have no fear, child. We will save your friend.
Where is he? Where is he?
Come no closer!
You have nowhere to run. Release the girl and surrender.
Surrender to whom? The blasphemer who throws wide the gates to our enemy? Who breaks bread with him and calls him brother? Ungodly swine! I would sooner die than surrender to you.
Is it godly to spill the blood of an innocent child? To burn the homes of your brothers? Tell me, priest, is that godly?
Do not speak to me of godliness, heathen! Your father's blood is on your hands, as is hers!
But I...
Vidafne!
Well met, knight. Mayhap I chose an inopportune moment?
Not at all. Pray forgive us this most unworthy reception. We are honored to have you with us, and right glad of your aid.
Fortune delivered the child unto me. I had but to receive her.
Thank you for saving me.
Thou art welcome, child.
Never did I think to be indebted to so unexpected a savior. But full glad am I to be so.
Friend of Izel, warrior of warriors, I had hoped to meet with thee. I bear a message from my sire.
From Bracefelder?
Upon returning to our lands, Nidhogg's shade did sing unto his brood, and they for skies unknown did then take wing. This thou must know, for your fates are inextricably bound.
What of Estinian? Is he truly lost to us?
Such matters are beyond my ken. I but bear my father's words. Take from them what thou wilt. Fare you well, mortals.
So it is as they say then. A great white dragon swooped down from the heavens to rescue an innocent child.
A most unexpected turn of events, but not an unwelcome one. The people will not soon forget this day.
Yet how will they choose to remember it, Sir Emmerich? And will these events serve to bring man and dragon closer together, or drive a deeper wedge between brothers? After 1,000 years, the world these men once knew is changing, and with ungentle swiftness to boot. Though their actions are misguided, their sentiments are only to be expected. You may be sure that others will rally to their cause. I share your desire for lasting peace with the Jovanians, I do. But I would not see it built on the bones of our countrymen, nor on our own. I see much of Horsefort in you, and I could not bear to mourn the passing of another son.
Lord Edmund.
Alright, let us speak with Alphino here. This has been a day of surprises, has it not? 'Tis but a pity Vidolfnir could not stay longer. Yes, I think it's fair to say that she timed her departure rather less well than her arrival. Well, time scarcely does it justice, but one moment later would have been a moment too late. Let us pray that the Ishgardians who yet harbored doubts will take these events to heart and accept the truth of Sir Emmerich's words. Well, 'tis only meet that I inform Tataru of what has occurred here. If you have need of me, I shall be at Fort Tom's Manor. Allow me to accompany you. Tataru would never forgive me if I left for the Rising Stones without saying goodbye. A moment, Prince. I wish a word. Tell me, does Thancred seem quite well to you? I'm not quite sure how to put it into words, but... So you sense it too? A subtle change, imperceptible to most. I myself did not notice it at first, but upon closer examination, I saw that his etheric flow had been irreparably disrupted. As a result, I strongly suspect that his ability to manipulate aether has been compromised. Simply put, Thancred may no longer be able to wield magics. It would do much to explain why he chose to remain in the wilderness instead of seeking us out. He would have been compelled to rely solely on traditional methods of travel, significantly prolonging his journey, and when he learned that a nearby beast tribe was making preparations to summon a primal, it may well have seemed more sensible to wait. But this is still little more than speculation. Until I have proof, pray speak no word of it. Right then, I should be on my way. Cryo may have charmed Master Matoya for now, but who can say how long it will last? Alright, let us meet up with Alphino at Fort Tom's Manor.
That Vidofnir should chance to arrive even as the girl fell. Truly, I could not have planned it better myself.
Ah, good. We were afraid you might have left.
A shield, my lord?
Fit for a true knight. An expression of our gratitude to you and yours, long overdue. But there is something else I would discuss ere you part. Something which cannot leave this room. My father will soon step down as head of our house. Sir Emmerich was not the only one to fall under suspicion following the death of the Archbishop. There are some who believe my father complicit in a coup d'etat. Thus he intends to renounce his title to absolve our house of suspicion and secure the support of our peers.
Surely there must be another way to convince houses Durandare and Zemail.
So I said to him. Alas, he will not budge. Ever since I was a child, I knew that I would one day succeed my father. The thought of it filled me with pride. Yet once I learned the day was at hand, my heart was filled with naught but dread. Our legacy is built upon the lies of our forefathers. In accepting this title, am I not perpetuating this injustice? Why should I become the next count?
A knight lives to serve.
You sound just like him. Aye, I suspect that is what Horschiffon would have said. To aid those in need. When you look on that shield, I trust you will remember his words. And should I once more find my resolve wavering, I ask that you show me the way. You were a brother to Horschiffon. Will you be a brother to me as well? Come, Manalaine. There's much to be done. For Father, and for Sir Emeric, and for Ishgard. To think we share the same blood. Pray excuse us.
Those were the days of promises and vows, of tentative first steps into an uncertain future. A future shaped by the choices we made, in ways we could never have foreseen. Born of good and evil, of light and darkness, and shepherded by our hand. Be it for weal, or be it for woe.
From the memoirs of Count Edmond de Fortamp's Heavensward, as goes light, so goes darkness. This is thy proof? The Garan Oracles, Apocrypha. It is a truth long forgotten, and a tale of the beginning, and of the path we have been set upon. Our fates were ordained long ago, Archon. The Garleans are no exception. Nor the Triad. You know what must be done. Well, everyone has their orders. The masks will attack as soon as all units are in position. The Imperials won't know what hit them. I fear it will be bloody. By Rhalgar, it had better be. We cannot stay here forever, Ida. We have other responsibilities. I I know full well what my responsibilities are, and I mean to fulfill them, every one. Alright, and so with that, we have now completed the patch 3.1 content. We are going to head into patch 3.2 on the next episode. Thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.